And welcome to the show. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, coast to coast and globally. We're so delighted to be able to get into your neck of the broadcast woods, wherever you are on the planet. And we off to a new start for the week. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Didn't fall too much off the rails and stuck with your health program. What health program? Well, you know, maybe we can, for the new year. We'll talk about New Year's resolutions as we move toward the first of the year. I have some ideas and thoughts about it. I think New Year's resolutions are very important, and I can make an argument. Some people don't. I think they're a waste of time because they're so frequently broken. I understand that. But as we go along, and I will share with you my thoughts about New Year's resolutions and how to use them to create and achieve small wins in your health, wellness, and well-being. We'll get into that as the holidays proceed. Of course, this week is Thanksgiving on Thursday, as always. And I hope that you have good plans with your family and friends. My intention is to travel to Denver to see my family, be with my grandson, my daughter, my great-grandson. Goes from Christmas past to whoever will show up. And for me, it's a memorable Thanksgiving. I didn't think I would be here, quite frankly, last year when I was diagnosed with cancer. And thank God, I had great doctors, and thanks to you, the thousands of people who really support this show and me, I am grateful. So Thanksgiving is very special for me this year. And we're so far so good. We're doing okay. And I hope you're doing okay too. And we love it when you get connected. By the way, as I said that, gratitude and mindfulness, those are on my mind all the time now. And I'll develop those ideas for the holidays, being mindful and being grateful. And we'll develop that and work it into the themes of the show. They're always appropriate, they always work, and they have great meaning. And we love it when you connect. The show is about connection. It's about relationship. It's about learning, educating, and empowering ourselves, you and me. We're all in it together. And here's how you get connected.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255, or you can contact Dr. Garko at drgarko@letstalknutrition.com. Don't forget to follow us on Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook, one word, and at Let's Talk Nutrition on Instagram, and LTN Radio on Twitter. And
Marcus Bryant is in studio today. Marcus is the graphics designer for the marketing department for Let's Talk Nutrition. And Marcus is a young man. He was in the service, and served his country. And is very talented, and we're grateful to have him. And he is getting more involved with the show, although he has his marketing. He got his hands full in the marketing and graphic design element of his day-to-day work. But we're getting him more integrated into the show, and so we're grateful to have Marcus. And he's trying to learn what Gary's doing when he streams the show, and it gets uploaded onto 3 different platforms. Facebook, YouTube, our website, and another website, the company that uploads it. That's what puts us globally. And people watch the stream across literally the globe. We've now been recorded on 5 or 6 continents, and we get about 30,000 hits a day on the stream. So Marcus is learning that piece of it now. I just wanted to give you, that's maybe more you want to know, but that's what we do. We always have something going on. When I took my anatomy course, of course, and of course, and you go in anatomy and physiology course, you learn about the systems of the body, and you walk through that. It gets technical, and there's a lot of memorization and this and that. And when we came to the digestive system, these are things that we do every day, right? And we sort of take them for granted. But once you start to learn how these systems work and understand their complexity, and their elegance, and how things can go wrong, and how you can get things back on track, and how to maintain those systems, it really changes your point of view. And the digestive system, I wanted to focus a little bit on it today. Tracy, Dr. Krieder is going to be along. She's going to talk about stress. Stress, one of the targets of stress, one of the systems that takes a big hit is the digestive system. When some people, when they're under, more than a few, when they're under stress, their digestive system goes sideways in all kinds of different ways. Because in some ways, it's worse because maybe their diet isn't optimal. They may not be exercising enough, and not enough sleep and rest. And then on top of it, now you got all these stressors that are bombarding the individual. And the digestive system is sensitive to that. There are people that will get constipated when under stress. People will get diarrhea when under stress.
I get bubble guts. I do. I get them.
See? It's interesting how, and stress is unique. It will find the weak spot or spots in your anatomy every single time. And for a lot of people, it is the digestive system. I came across an article by Jenna Fletcher, and the title of it was, "What Causes Pain in the Lower Left Abdomen?" Now, when you look at the structure of your digestive system, and you have the colon, for example, and which is consisted of an ascending colon. It comes up your right side. Transverse colon, it moves across your body, across up to on the right. It starts on the right, moves upward, then across, and then goes downward. That's the descending colon. And right at the end is called the sigmoid colon. Then you have the rectum and then the anal canal. Turns out, and many of you will identify with this, a lot of the discomfort happens on the left side in the lower left abdomen. And that's not an accident. As I described it, remember I said ascending on the right-hand side comes up, then transverse across, downward, then connects to the rectum and the anal canal, the sigmoid colon, rectum, and anal canal. That's where a lot of bad things happen. Diverticulitis, colitis, right? And it can be very painful and just destroy the quality of your life. And if you're having those kinds of issues and it's chronic, you do need to go see your physician and discuss it. Now, there can be several, I alluded already to some causes of pain in that lower left abdomen. It could be diverticulitis, which is the inflammation form of diverticulosis. That is a disease. Then it could, and I'll explain some of these, or it could be gas, right? That happens because you're not digesting your food and you have the undigested food fermenting in your gut. It could be lactose intolerance, inflammatory bowel diseases. It could be indigestion. It could be a hernia. It could be IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, right? Kidney stones, and intestinal obstruction. Back, we'll discuss some of these. We're showing you the article. It appears on your screen if you're watching it or handheld device, however you're catching the show on the stream. Come back, we'll discuss this further and try to give you some ideas and solutions to these problems. We'll be right back.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day, giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show and whatever you may be doing. Thanks for tuning in today. Dr. Tracy Krieder will be my guest who will be coming along and has a very appropriate topic for this time of year. Find out what that is. I just wanted to spend a few moments with you today in my monologue and getting to discuss with you that your digestive system during this time of year, it does take a heavy hit and can be the source of a lot of discomfort and upset holiday for you if your digestive system goes sideways. You know, everything from gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, to severe pain. And the lower left abdomen, that part of the colon, the large intestine, is where is very problematic. There's one piece of the large intestine. I should say to you that the large intestine is about 1.5 meters. That's about 5 feet in length. Okay? It's called the large intestine, but it's not the longest. The small intestine is longer. It's large because of the diameter. That's why they call it large. And it has a larger diameter than the small, as I said, and it forms the lower or terminal portion of the digestive tract. But this is where a lot of bad things happen in that colon, especially the descending portion. Nevertheless, the first part of that is called the cecum. I left that out. It's the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum, anal canal. That's what constitutes large, just for the record, so you know. Now, in this article that I found, she did a nice job. Her name's Jenna Fletcher, and she looked at the causes of pain in the lower left abdomen. Diverticulitis is one of them. That is nothing to mess with. The pain with diverticulitis can get off the chain, and people get rushed to the hospital. I remember on a couple of occasions I had to rush my mom. Then I learned to call the ambulance. The first time I did it, I rushed her to the hospital. Second time I called the ambulance, and because she had terrible diverticulitis. We eventually got it managed. In the diverticuli, these are like little pouches, small pouches in the intestinal wall. Those become inflamed and infected, and they form in weak areas of the large intestine. One theory or one hypothesis is that pressure, too much pressure on the large intestine, weakens the musculature of the large intestine, and weakness in these pockets, and then it protrude out, forming pockets. That's one hypothesis. Constipation, chronic, would cause a lot of pressure. And there seems to be a correlation with people that have chronically constipated and diverticulosis and then diverticulitis, the inflamed form of it. And it'll feel very tender on the lower left side. Sometimes, you'll feel bloated and painful. When you're under stress, it gets exacerbated. It really gets, how can we put it, hyperactive, so to speak. So if you think you have that going on, you need to see your doctor for sure. Gas, of course, that is very common with people. That's a function of you not digesting, or the person not digesting their food. It's not necessarily life-threatening, but certainly can be embarrassing, certainly can be uncomfortable, and just cause all sorts of issues. Lactose intolerance could be another issue, causing pain on that left side of your abdomen. And again, you have this intolerance to lactose. You can't digest it. Well, you can use digestive enzymes. Dr. Krieder can tell you all about that. Country Life Vitamins, they provide those kinds of enzymes, and it's correctable, but that can be another cause. Inflammatory bowel diseases, things like, for example, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, those are bad news. They're chronic conditions. They can be very painful, and those both are inflammation, inherently inflammation-based diseases, and the inflammation is painful. Indigestion, that's a buildup of acid after eating. That occurs usually in the upper part of the abdomen. But indigestion can also occur in the lower part of the abdomen as well. It's not uncommon during the holidays for people to get that. IBS, that's a chronic gastrointestinal disorder. And, abdominal pain, pressure, gas, bloating. My goodness, that's just terrible. You have to find a good gastroenterologist, somebody who really knows what she or he is doing. And if you think you have any of these kinds of disorders or diseases, then you need to get this taken care of. Hernia, that's when an organ or some body part is pushing through the abdominal wall, causes like a lump, like in the groin. It's very common. That can be repaired. You should not let that exist. Sometimes you can actually see the protrusion, especially if it's down in the groin area. Constipation, we all know about that. That can be another one. Kidney stones it's a calcium buildup in either in the right or left kidney, but that can also be one of the things that's causing that abdominal pain. Some sort of intestinal obstruction when food can't pass through the digestive system. These are all kinds of causes for that lower left abdomen pain. We'll be back with Dr. Krieder.
Battling.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show and whatever you may be doing. Dr. Tracy Krieder is my guest today, and always enjoy having her on. I've known her for a long time now, and she's an educator and has been for quite a long time for Country Life Vitamins and travels around the country and is very good at what she does. And we always enjoy having her on. I'm going to bring her on right away, and then we're going to go to Lansdale, Pennsylvania, and pick up a caller there and see what's on Marlene's mind. Dr. Krieder, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Happy holidays to you and your family. You are in winter wonderland for sure.
Indeed, I am. It was comical to hear the commercial when I think it was in the high 70s, and the quote I think that followed that was following a chilly morning or something. And I thought, oh, okay, chilly morning.
What's the temperature where you are?
31 degrees. I know. It's funny. You know.
You used to live in Florida. You're the only human being I know that left Florida in the winter. It was in the wintertime, wasn't it? And you moved to Minnesota.
It was in February.
It was in February, and you moved to where?
Michigan.
Exactly. Everybody is from Michigan's coming south to Florida, and you were moving north. I couldn't believe it. Well, it's always great to have you on, and you're a good sport. I get a little help from you on this call because we're going to go to Lansdale, Pennsylvania. Marlene, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on. Nice to see your name on the screen.
Hi, doctor. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Good. Listen, a month ago, I started to have some dizziness even when I was walking or when I was sleeping or on the bed. Not sleeping, on the bed. And I didn't know what it was, so I went to see the doctors, and they told me that I have benign postural vertigo. What do you think that will be good for me?
Well, I'm just curious as to what the doctor said.
That's what he said, that I have benign postural vertigo.
I know, but what did he say? What did he or she say for you to do about that? Not to climb up on any high chairs or anything like that? What did they ask you to do?
Well, she just said that I need some kinds of therapy or something like that.
What kind of therapy?
I believe it calls vestibular therapy. Yeah,
have you done that?
No, not yet.
What are you waiting for? Till you fall down? What? What? Did she give you any cause for it? Did she talk to you about that? Did she talk about the disorder and try to explain?
No, she did not say nothing. She just said that certain people, when they get to certain age, that's what they got, and I need some therapy. That's all what she said to me.
Dr. Krieder, what do you make of, we can talk about this a little bit. It doesn't come up very often, but vertigo's a real issue, causes of vertigo. It's an inner ear problem. You have any comments on it?
You know, I other than the obvious, definitely in terms of getting treatment, there aren't a whole lot of supplements that, you know that I could suggest that would have a positive, long-lasting ceasing to this issue. I mean, obviously, this is it's uncomfortable, can be scary at times. Definitely something that you don't want to mess around with because you could injure yourself in some way if this isn't taken care of.
Sure, Marlene. There's any number of causes of vertigo. Benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, BPPV. That's what they told you have, right?
Yes.
That occurs, and I'm not an expert here, so be patient with me. You get calcium particles that will build up in the canals of the inner ear, and the inner ear your inner ear sends signals to your brain, by the way, and about head and body movements. That's why when you're on a boat or in an airplane, people get they call seasickness or air sickness. That's what's going wrong. And it's relative to gravity. and it keeps you in balance. So when you build up these calcium deposits, you get this disruption of the signal, and you start to feel dizzy. And it's a scary feeling and an uncomfortable feeling. I'm sure the first time it happened, you wondered what was happening, right?
Right.
Yeah. Then there's Meniere's. It's French, Meniere disease. Meniere's disease. That's an inner disorder. That's a buildup of fluid and changing pressure in the ear. But they didn't say you had that. It can cause episodes of vertigo along with ringing in the ears and hearing loss. And then you have vestibular neuritis or labyrinthitis. It's hard for me to say. That's a problem, an inner ear problem related to infection. Usually a virus will cause that. So those are some of the causes. In terms of treatment, there's what they call vestibular rehabilitation, which is physical therapy aimed at strengthening the vestibular system. That's one thing you can do. There's what they call canalith repositioning maneuvers. You could go online to the American Academy of Neurology. There is a recommended series of specific head and body movements for BPPV. So there are some that kind of thing you can do. Go to the American Academy of Neurology, and they'll give you some exercises to perform that. The movements are done to move the calcium deposits out of the canal into the inner ear chamber so they can be absorbed by the body. I'm surprised your doctor didn't tell you that. I didn't go to medical school. I'm just a PhD trying to get along here. Okay? So go to the American Academy of Neurology and look for those exercises. Maybe you can move those calcium deposits out of the canal into the inner ear. There are some medicines that you can take to relieve nausea, the motion sickness if you get it. Then there's surgery. I don't think you're a candidate for that. That's the best I can tell you.
Okay. She just
better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. What's that?
She just gave me some kinds of steroids just to minimize whatever I have.
Yeah. Do what I suggest, and then if you need more help, you should go back and see her. Go to the American Academy of Neurology.
Okay.
And look for the specific head and body movements for BPPV, which is what you have. Mm-hmm. And maybe assuming that's what's going on with you. She did the exam. I can't prescribe and treat. I'm not allowed to do that, nor do I want to do that, but I can give you suggestions.
Right. That's why I called you, because I really have faith on you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll be back with Dr. Krieder.
Don't be stressed out or
Producers listening to my off-air comments. Stephen, love him. Dr. Tracy Krieder is my guest. Dr. Krieder, welcome back. Yeah, Marlene's a regular listener in Lansdale. Lansdale's a good area for us in the continental United States. Have you given talks up in Lansdale, Philadelphia area?
I've been in Philly, not that particular city, so I'm not familiar with where its location is.
It's right outside
I have to
Philly.
find what the nearest store is, in that area.
Yeah, there's a famous health store there. We'll mention them in a minute. We have another caller. You can help with this one. It's Mary in Brooksville. Hi, Mary. You had a digestive care related health question.
Yes, I can't believe you're talking about this today. Friday. Okay, I'm hearing an echo, so I got to concentrate. Friday, after 2 years and a million scans, and working with Moffitt, with a GI doctor, a pulmonary doctor, cardiologist, I mean, every doctor you can imagine. Okay, my GI decided to do a CT with contrast.
Okay.
And I haven't had one for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay, I'm excited. So
Better late than never, but go ahead.
Yes, I was so excited about this because I said, "This is it. They're going to find it."
What did they? What did they find? What did they find?
Okay, I know. I'm excited. Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to find it. Okay, there's a variety of different things, but this one I think is a problem. It says there is a relatively large amount of stool in the colon.
Called an impacted stool.
It's been there probably 2 years.
And nobody caught that in 2 years?
In 2 years, Dr. Garko, I've been going to Moffitt for 10 years. And the last 2 years, I was having an issue, and they sent me to the GI doc. And he's been working on this for 2 years.
And you had pain in your lower left abdomen, didn't you?
Oh, my God. I mean, it's horrible.
It is horrible.
I broke down. I broke down in his office on Wednesday. I said, listen, very nicely, because I'm a nice person. I said, listen, you guys are sending me 6 specialists in 3 weeks. I drove 700 miles back and forth to Moffitt from Brooksville.
I know.
To see all these doctors.
I know. And here.
I'm so frustrated.
Well, I know you're frustrated. It turns out, Dr. Krieder, you know a thing or two about this kind of health issue. You deal with it all the time in your travels with people.
There's a variety of different things that people will experience, and like yourself, that you get to hear that people are dealing with. And certainly this has got to be such a revelation. I can hear it in her voice.
Oh, I know.
I'm excited.
Well, and the good thing about this is that this isn't something that's very serious. You didn't get a life-threatening, life-altering diagnosis where...
No, because having cancer 4 times.
You had cancer 4 times.
I was terrified it was stomach cancer.
I know you were. And I guess you were relieved to find it was an impacted stool.
Oh my God, I am so happy.
Which probably inspired you to maybe, go to the bathroom because you could relax.
Listen, I need to know. I actually called you before my doctor because at Moffitt, everything's on the patient portal. So I found this out on Saturday, and I was like jumping up and down. It's not cancer. So here's my question to you, Dr. Garko.
Yeah.
How do I get that out?
Okay. Go ahead. Dr. Krieder, go ahead.
How do we get that out of there?
Go ahead, Tracy.
So there's a couple of different things that we can think about.
Hello?
First off,
yeah, you're there. You're good.
Yep.
You're good. Go ahead, Tracy.
So first and foremost, you have to make sure that you're drinking water. The intake of water for all situations, but definitely for making sure that as increasing your fiber and so forth, that this water will help, get things moving. If you can get some magnesium, magnesium draws water into the colon, so certainly that will help to facilitate the movement of this impacted stool.
How much water are you
There's
talking, Dr. Krieder? How much water are you talking about typically?
Here's the thing. You could healthily say, we're supposed to have 8 glasses of water, and to someone, 8 glasses might mean a teeny tiny juice glass. And then we need to make sure that we're hydrating on top of any tea or coffee or things of that nature that we might be taking in. So 8 8 ounce glasses of water, and then more than that, of course, if you're drinking coffee and tea and anything that could dehydrate you. But obviously adding fiber into the diet if that's not existing now, because that bulk is going to help to, as I said, facilitate that movement of the stool.
So
Probiotics.
Let me stop you with the fiber for a second. Certainly, she can get that through her diet by eating more vegetables and more fruit, but maybe supplement. You have fiber products at Country Life, yes?
We do. With her situation, however, we would need a lot more than something that might be in a pill form, especially because it's at this serious juncture. Getting something that's an extremely high fiber. Ours is more for a daily, and it's actually called Daily Fiber X. It's more for a daily assistance, maybe not at this severe level of what she's dealing with. I think for Country Life, if you were looking for an actual supplementation, probiotics or aloe would really help create a healthy home environment within that intestinal tract.
Do you take probiotics, Mary?
I do. I actually started taking them because he also gave me a very powerful antibiotic. It's going to for a month.
Oh,
I got to talk to him about that. That's a long time. So
wow.
I am taking a heavy-duty probiotic.
Okay, so let me stop you there. I don't mean to interrupt. If you're taking the antibiotic, don't take the probiotic with the antibiotic. You should have at least a 2-hour separation of time between the two.
I'm so happy you said that because I was taking it with it.
No, all the antibiotic doing is destroying the probiotic.
Well, it's okay because I've only taken it 4 times. I have to take it twice a day.
All right, so you take your probiotic 2 hours after you take your antibiotic. That's one point. Something else you might want to consider is doing some digestive enzymes. Don't hang up. We come back, and Dr. Krieder's here to talk about stress, but we'll address this a little bit more if you want to hang on for a second. An impacted stool is when hard stool will get, so to speak, stuck, literally stuck in the area of the rectum. Remember, I described the digestive system earlier, and usually happens when people have been constipated a long time. We'll be back. And welcome to the show. Great to be with you. Dr. Tracy Krieder is my guest today. Always enjoy having her on. And she's going to talk about stress. You heard the lead-in to the show, right? That intro? Stress relief. I wrote that because it is a factor that affects no one's immune. And not all stress is bad stress. There's distress, and then there's eustress, E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S, good stress. But it can lead to all sorts of health issues and gets implicated into our health, wellness, and well-being. Dr. Krieder knows a thing or two about it. And we had a caller from the first portion. She's hanging on. We'll ask her to just hang on for a second. And I'm going to bring Dr. Krieder on right away. Dr. Krieder, welcome back. It's great to have you on again, even though you're up there. Where, Minnesota?
Michigan. Very close, but Michigan.
Yeah. Are you pulled into the football up there now and all that?
No, not really. Never really a big football fan. My husband likes college football. I've always just been into hockey. The problem is can't get the Tampa Bay Lightning up here. So, I mean, they come here, but, this is hockey town.
I know.
In just about an hour and a half away in Detroit. So,
of course.
As I was sharing with Gary through the break, I'm enjoying my new and different country life. So I work for country life.
No pun intended, right?
Yeah, and I live out in the country life, as he was bragging about riding his motorcycle this morning down Bayshore Boulevard. And
Yeah.
I said, well, I put on a winter jacket and a hat and gloves and boots to walk my dog this morning.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I've seen you on a motorcycle on your Facebook page. You're not riding any motorcycle today, I'll tell you, in that weather.
Oh, gosh, no. No, I've actually only kind of sat on my motorcycle since I've been here. So I wrote it down.
You sit on it in the garage and pretend you're going down the highway, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Kinda. You heard the.
Sure do miss you, Dr. Garko. I miss seeing you and being down there. But
Well, we
I'll
miss.
see you down in February.
Well, we're going to look for you, and you're always invited to come into the studio. We have a modern studio now, and we're coast to coast. We're global. We get 30,000 hits a day on our stream on average across the world, and then of course our terrestrial radio that's what we are in heart and essence, and we're in about 63 markets now. So you're always invited to come here and in studio anytime you want, You heard Mary. Did you hear that human story that this is what this show is about? That call, Mary, is why I show up to work every day. Did you hear the excitement? She was happy to hear that she was just, suffering from chronic constipation, had an impacted stool, and it wasn't cancer. You caught it, right?
Immediately. I really did. It was, there's something that's, you spoke about at the beginning of the first hour about why you do the show and the connection, relationship. And it's this type of thing when you think about your day-to-day activities and what you do for work and how you get to hear about the different success stories or stories of struggle and triumph and a story much like yourself who inspired so many people all the time. And for her to be that excited and not knowing, of course, before she and you had mentioned her already previous struggle with cancer.
Four times. Cancer 4 times.
Yeah. So it is the speed of her speech and the depth of her breath and everything that was involved in her communication was it's just it's a great thing that we get to experience stuff like that all the time.
I know. And an impacted stool is correctable. You had mentioned, and stress is a variable that can contribute to a lot of constipation. Stress will do that to people, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of digestive results that happen when we're stressed out, and for many of us, it could lead to a halt in how the digestive system actually works. For some, they end up just not having any appetite at all and cannot consume any food. I'm kind of the opposite of that, though. I've been stressed up here, and for some reason mine hasn't shut off. So some of us are on the opposite end where that stress ignites overeating or pleasure, comfort, filling oneself up with, whatever the case may be. But even though one might be doing that, obviously, like myself at times after this move and many others throughout even the holidays, that overeating puts more stress onto the digestive system. So for her case, there's many, many different reasons why this could have happened. And maybe, who wouldn't be stressed having cancer 4 times throughout these processes? And if the doctor, in this case, again, we heard, a month worth of antibiotics. Well, we know what that does in terms of regularity and how that just.
I wonder what his thinking is. I wonder if she has an infection. Is it diverticulosis or diverticulitis? I don't know. I'll have to ask her. But you alluded to there are many variables that can cause an impacted stool to be created. That hard stool right by the rectum. A diet low in fiber that you mentioned, inadequate fluid intake, not enough water. Sedentary lifestyle, medications will do that. Pain medication. When I was on pain medication during cancer treatment, I can't tell you what a struggle I had.
I remember you speaking about that.
Oh, it was horrible.
I think there's probably a lot of different pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely.
And I don't know what her protocol is. I don't know what her medication protocol said. As I said, there are many variables that will cause it. And I don't like to probe too deeply when people call into the show, a viewer or a listener. I don't want to get too personal with them and ask them these very personal questions. But just to go back to Mary for a second. Mary, welcome back onto the show. We appreciate you calling and in sharing
thank you.
sharing your story. I don't know anything about your diet. I don't know what medications you're on or anything like that, but I listed for you what's cited in the literature as common causes. Now, you're going to go see a gastroenterologist, right?
Right. He's actually the one that I've been working with over the last couple of years, and he started sending me out to all these specialists. So I've had everything. But finally, I was there on Wednesday, and I just broke down in his office. I said, somebody's got to do something.
Forgive my question, but have you been able to go to the bathroom? Have you been able to do that?
Yes, and that's why, because I have a friend who's an internal medicine MD guy, very smart, wrote a book and stuff. He lives in Hawaii, and he's retired, and he kept saying, "You're constipated." I said, "I'm not constipated. I'm going." He says, "Yeah, but you're going ribbons and pencils."
Ribbons and pencils. That's an interesting metaphor. Ribbons and pencils.
That's what he called it.
Ribbons and pencils. If you're, ideally, you want to have it, according to what I've read, and Dr. Krieder knows a lot about this, at least one bowel movement a day. If you're having 3 or less a week, less. No, that's.
No, I have 3 and 4 a day, Dr. Garcode, because I'm on beet greens and kale, and I started that because I also have a fatty liver, an NA, non-alcoholic fatty liver. So I've been doing beet greens and kale. I've been doing
so that help. That's going to help, right? That will help, right?
Right, the liver.
All right. So what you do is you go follow your doctor's instructions. Don't quit taking medications unless you talk with your doctor. Get your little program going of fiber and fiber-related supplements and foods. What Dr. Krieder suggested was probiotics. Don't take them with your antibiotics. Take them 2 hours separated. You might want to consider some digestive enzymes, either from Country Life or any other company that I talk about on the show. Drink lots of water and try to do a little bit of exercise, walking and whatnot. And then get back to me and let me know how you're doing, okay?
Yeah.
All right. We got to go. We had some messages. I'll be right back.
Are you waking?
On Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends, Virilomax, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension. Exclusively available on Amazon.com.
Well, the thing that you don't want to have happen is to say stress, Thanksgiving, and holidays in the same sentence, but it often happens. And Dr. Tracy Krieder is here today, and she sent me along some of her notes about stress. Very nice, well done, and helpful. She wants to share that with you today. Dr. Krieder, thanks for coming on to the show and talking about this real important. I've I've talked about it so many times, but it's something, it's inexhaustible. So thank you for doing it.
You know, you're welcome. Dr. Garko, I know you've talked about stress so much, and, you know, probably every time this time of year comes around, the topic might come up. And if we can lend maybe a different thought in some way, shape, or form as to taking a step back, you know, and your emotion that you expressed of, you know, not knowing if you were going to be here this year. It was very powerful, and you can tell you're very purposeful in what you say, and just living out a much more meaningful life. Not that you weren't living a meaningful life by any stretch of the means prior to, but your awareness is so keen. It's so there. And I think that with so many things going on in our world right now, we tend to be busy with all of the other things than the things that we should be. And we come last, where everyone else comes first. And some of us can't take those moments during the day in order to just grab on, take a breath, and muddle through whatever it is that you might be experiencing. But the body has such reactions to all of these different things, and it responds very differently to stress. And I happened to see you doing some pull-ups. I went to the Let's Talk Nutrition Facebook page, and I scrolled down, and there I saw it was, you know, freeze-framed there, and I believe the quote was morning pull-ups or something of that nature.
Yeah, we were sitting in studio, and Gary said, boy, I wish I could do some pull-ups. I said, I think I could rip off 10 right now. He said, no. I said, well, let's go outside. We have like a gym bar. And I pulled off 10. I mean, after 1 year of not being able to do anything, I was able, and I'm back in the gym. So in all fairness, I was able to do more, but I just wanted to show him I could do 10 to try to inspire him.
Well, inspiration you are. And, you know, when you think about going to the gym, you know, that's a positive action that we make. But it does put stress on the body, but not a bad stress. So we can't always think of stress as this negative connotation of what it might, you know, create within the body, because we do things that create good stress. So there is helpful stress and there's hurtful stress, and gosh, we could talk about all different types. You know, we've already talked.
Well,
about,
you know, in your PowerPoint that you sent me, you make some good points. You say there's physical, chemical, thermal, nutritional, psychic or mental, electromagnetic stress, different forms of stress that we get exposed to. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, like, for example, nutritional stress. What do you mean by that?
You know, well, when we think about, you know, for example, you know, I mentioned that I moved and I'm eating too much. Too much of anything puts a tremendous stress, especially on the liver, if you're eating fatty foods this time of year when people tend to drink more. So it could be hurtful in terms of now you're not having a proper nutritional balance from the vitamins and minerals that you need. But on a helpful status, when you're doing all the things, and you've definitely made drastic changes to your life. I think of you often. I don't know how you went to such an extreme difference of consumption of food, but that has such a positive effect on the body. However, to someone who might be living a very dangerous lifestyle, when they switch over to something like that, it can create stress in the body.
It certainly can.
You've experienced that when you go through fasting, and this extreme, almost shock, if we want to call it that.
Do processed foods, you know, the stripped down, what I call stripped down, highly concentrated salt, sugar, fat-laden foods that are highly processed, in, you know, in many different ways, can that be stressful?
Absolutely. Think about right now what they're talking about in terms of the sugar epidemic that we're in with everything that we're consuming, having sugar. Back in the day, our ketchups, when we were growing up, ketchup didn't have sugar, and tomato sauce didn't have sugar. It was the Kellogg's Brothers is a fantastic documentary. You would love it. You would absolutely love it.
Kellogg's Brothers?
Fantastic documentary.
What's it
About
called?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I have to get
Think
the
about
title.
it. You think about it during
I
the
will.
break. You get it back to me. So, and when we eat or drink, like during the holidays, we're going to be eating foods that are high in salt, sugar, and fat, foods that are fiber vacuous, if you will. I can't evacuate if you don't have fiber. This can be very stressful to the digestive system, can it not?
Absolutely. And it can be stressful and also give you, well, not give you, create this mood in your body and in your state of mind of depression. So while many of us suffer from depression during the holidays, this constantly of just bombarding the body with more fat, more sugar, more processed foods, this is very difficult for the body to process, but it's also have, 2 or 3 inches of the other ingredients in your food. Well, all those things that you can't pronounce. Having clear, real food is going to give you that energy, that lift. We know how we feel when we eat great food.
There you go. And when we come back, we'll talk about a little bit more of this and even add more to it.
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Talk Nutrition in this holiday edition. Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving. And people are going to eat a lot of food, and it will be stressful. Uncle so-and-so or Aunt so-and-so, that's a family tension at the table. Yeah. The food itself and trying to travel and all the things that can be very stressful. Now, there's some good stress, too. That's called eustress, eustress. It's not always bad. But Dr. Krieder sent me a wonderful PowerPoint that she uses in her education for consumers and professionals. And she mentions stress hormones. Dr. Krieder, welcome back. Cortisol, epinephrine, adrenaline, norepinephrine. Why are these stress hormones? They're necessary for the flight or flight response, but they do have a deleterious effect when there's too much of them in the stream. Yes.
Absolutely. And I think TV has made a wonderful job at. They've done wonderfully at teaching people that the reason why they have a belly is because their cortisol levels. They neglect to tell them that it could be from their ice cream and potato chips and cookies, but that cortisol has made their belly fat where it is. And quite possibly that could be true. But cortisol is not only necessary, but it is one of many different hormones that are involved in this stress. Now, whether or not it's the stress of trying to do 10 pull-ups in the back of the radio parking lot or wherever that is. I think it's comical. It's right outside where you guys are at. But, whatever's going on in the body, positive or negative, there are hormones involved in all the processes. And cortisol is a hormone that is created in the adrenal glands. So we know that when we're stressed out, the adrenals are definitely under, in some cases, an assault of overproduction. It has to perform and perform and perform and perform. And when this happens for a long period of time, the adrenals then we've heard of adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion, burnt out adrenals. And I know you've had other guests who have done wonderfully at talking about really the depths of what that means.
So what happens?
A lot of great topics.
So in terms of, and your nutritional status gets compromised as well when under stress. You have certain micronutrients, vitamins and minerals that decline and because of different reasons. But I notice in your PowerPoint, you mentioned the B vitamins. You mention the coenzyme B complex from Country Life. You have the Stress Shield products. The B vitamins and you make probably one of the best B complex vitamins supplement products on the market. Why the B vitamins?
Bees are involved in a variety of different things, and B vitamins many times are just kind of categorized as, they just give you energy. But they're responsible for, if we were to look at all of them individually, metabolizing fats and carbohydrates and proteins. They're taking our food and shuttling it into the cells to create energy. So each one of them have a function. Stress, smoking, drinking, pharmaceutical drugs, they all deplete B vitamins. So here, if we're not getting any in our diet and we're stressed out, sometimes when we're stressed out, we're smoking and drinking. So all of these things depleting even more places, obviously, even greater stress on those adrenals.
What does
our B vitamins, those coenzymated B vitamins.
What does that mean, coenzymated? What does that mean?
They're active and ready to go. Metabolically active might be another term that we could use. Typically, when you take in a B vitamin, it has to go into the liver, and the liver converts it, and then it's sent out to the body for the body to use. These coenzymated Bs are active and ready to go. Now, while that might not seem important, one of the biggest things, as you know, because you've experienced these in the past, there's no odor. So that vitamin smell that people don't care for, it's not there. You can take them on an empty stomach. Traditionally, you couldn't do that with a regular B vitamin. So there's a lot of different attributes, and we've put those coenzymated Bs that are sold singly, as a complex, into our other product called Stress Shield.
Okay, so let me back up on the for a second on the coenzyme B complex. That's what it's called on the bottle. You include methylfolate, 5-MTFH in there. What is that and why?
So many of us right now, the numbers are about 1 in 3. People cannot convert folic acid into its active component, which is methylfolate. The 5-MTHF is short for methyl tetrahydrofolate. And so when the body takes in folic acid, if there's an enzyme, and you may have heard this, and listeners as well may have heard that they have MTHFR, kind of dubbed that way. And if you've done the 23andMe or any of the gene tests these days, they'll let you know whether or not you have MTHFR.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much out there now. We could do a whole show, and we've talked about this before. We were the first company to come out with methylfolate as an individual product. It's a chewable that we sell. But we've incorporated it now into our coenzymated Bs, and we have a new product. It's not shown in what I sent to you. Our coenzymated Bs are now in a powdered form.
Oh.
And yes, we have a coconut and a lemon lime powdered form. This is great for people who want to have a powdered coenzymated B.
Oh, that's great.
Add these right to your shakes. Add them into water for that energy water that everybody's looking for now. And that's what's called fully methylated, meaning it has all the MTHF in there, no folic acid in that product at all.
And also, I noticed in your notes, it also, the coenzyme B complex, as it's called on the bottle, advanced, also contains benfotiamine, PQQ, and NADH. Yes?
Yeah, yes, the coenzymated B advanced, same great things that we've already talked about in terms of having this B that's already converted or metabolically active, as we talked about. Benfotiamine is remarkable. I actually personally take this. There's a fantastic website called benfotiamine.org, and it talks about individuals who are suffering from neuropathy, pain from neuropathy of all types, and that this could be reduced in as little as 2 to 4 weeks. Now, we sell that as the therapeutic dose separately. Obviously, it's not in a therapeutic dose in the coenzymated B advanced. But benfotiamine is a remarkable fat-soluble B1. Thiamine is B1, so benfotiamine. And PQQ is actually up for being the next named B vitamin. So potentially in our lifetime, we could have another B added to a complex. But PQQ is found in your foods, and pyrroliquinoline quinone is what that stands for. And it's found in a lot of different fruits and vegetables. And in short, what it does.
Well, we'll save that for the next segment. We'll have the LTN health question as well. Be right back.
Everyone's raving.
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
And welcome back. Here's the LTN health question of the day. My guest today, Dr. Tracy Krieder, has been talking about stress and what nutrients you might need to be mindful of and consider increasing the intake of when under stress. B vitamins would be one of those categories, micronutrient categories. They happen to make a wonderful coenzyme B complex, and then they have an advanced. And in the advanced formula, they have PQQ and benfotiamine. She mentioned it in passing. I want to see how closely you were listening. It turns out that it is a synthetic. There's a synthetic S-acyl derivative. It's an S-acyl derivative of a certain B vitamin. Is it vitamin B1, vitamin B2, or vitamin B3? I'll give you a hint. Thiamine. So is benfotiamine. How do you say it, Dr. Krieder?
Exactly the way that you are, benfotiamine.
Benfotiamine. Is it a derivative of vitamin B1, vitamin B2, or vitamin B3? The hint is thiamine. Here's the number to call to win the $25 supplement gift card with the correct answer.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
Welcome back, Dr. Krieder. So that would be on the menu for people under stress during the holidays or any other time. Your coenzyme B complex and coenzyme B complex advanced. In your PowerPoint to me, you mentioned ashwagandha, passion flower, wild jujube. How can I have to buy those all independently? How do I get those particular compounds?
Well, our Stress Shield formula actually has all of those in there. Stress Shield is a combination of these B vitamins we were speaking of. And then they've chosen particular herbs that are utilized for stress, mainly herbs that in the past have had enormous studies for anxiety, insomnia, just overall stress. But think about it this way. Remember we talked about the good stress and the bad stress, and the fact that a lot of times when we think about something that may de-stress us in terms of a supplement, people might have the thought of, oh, it's going to make me just want to go curl up in a ball and grab my blanket and not do anything. This is not designed in that way. This is what I call the inner breath of fresh air. It allows that cortisol level to be reduced through the ashwagandha. Allows that nice, like I said, inner breath of fresh air, that relaxed feeling, calm, to allow you to get through your day. So revitalize, restore, rebuild. That is the goal of Country Life's Stress Shield.
Then you have a Stress Shield nighttime as well.
Yeah, the nighttime is, of course, to help your brain to start to unwind. So similarly, still has the ashwagandha and passion flower and wild jujube, but now adding in theanine and GABA.
And magnesium. And magnesium.
Yeah.
These are very well thought out formulations. Those compounds that Dr. Krieder is mentioning, along with the B vitamins, and the passion flower, jujube, ashwagandha, 5-HTP, tyrosine, all in the Stress Shield, and then in the nighttime formula, you have pantothenic acid, passion flower, jujube, ashwagandha, theanine, GABA, magnesium. All those compounds, independent of one another, have been thoroughly researched. Thousands and thousands of studies on these compounds. So there is no nonsense here. These formulations are evidence-based. Your consumers have had good success with Stress Shield and Stress Shield Nighttime, as I understand it.
Yes. They have been around now for several years. As you've had Jason Mitchell on many times. He was par for our creating these many years ago. He was
he used to work. He used to work for Country Life. Now he has his own company.
Yes, absolutely. So, in the creation of these, there was definitely purpose in choosing not just our very successful coenzymated bees, but these particular herbs that, as you well noted, this isn't country life saying that this is, the most potent form of ashwagandha using a trademark form called sensoril, and not just, any herb that we said, let's just, pick these two. There's actually much about herbs, and especially when it comes to how they can get into the body differently than something that might be synthesized or created. There's a lot of components in herbs that we have even yet to discover.
Sure.
So we know the attributes that they can do in terms of stress.
And by the way, I'll mention to the listener and the viewer, the ashwagandha is a trademark form, the sensoril ashwagandha, yes? Tracy? I lose her? Okay, let's go to Terry in Venice, not Italy, but Florida. Maybe it's Italy. Given these days, I don't know. It could be. Hi, Terry. Welcome to the show, and happy holidays to you.
Hi, happy holidays to you as well.
Thanks so much. How you making it? Everything good? You ready for Thanksgiving? Got the turkey all ready?
Well, I don't eat turkey, so.
You don't eat turkey. You're a vegan?
Right.
I've talked to you before, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
I remember your voice. So what kind of food do you eat on Thanksgiving?
Pretty much all the same things, but turkey, and we might have, you could either buy a ready-made vegan roast or make my own.
All right. Lots of sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are good as long as you don't add all the crap, the marshmallows and whatnot. Sweet potatoes are wonderful. If I had my way, I would eat a sweet potato every day. But what's the answer? Is benfotiamine a synthetic derivative of vitamin B1, vitamin B2, or vitamin B3?
B1.
Yeah, thiamine. It's a essyl derivative, for the chemists out there, of thiamine, vitamin B1. Congratulations, you won a $25 supplement gift card. I extend the happiest and healthiest of Thanksgivings and holidays to you and your family. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, and the same to you.
Thank you. And Dr. Krieder, thank you. I'm sorry we got disconnected. Thank you so much. And Country Life Vitamins, they're B complex, and then they're coenzyme B complex, and then B complex advanced, the coenzymated. And, of course, they're Stress Shield daytime, Stress Shield nighttime, all to help manage stress, because your health is your wealth. See you tomorrow.
Are you suffering